We all know what it's about?
Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah, and I disagree with your one position. I guess my first question to you would be, a motion to remove filed against you, who pay your legal fee? County would. When you act in your official capacity and things are asserted against you in that capacity, you have one place to turn. I cannot carry and do not carry liability insurance as a government employee. I'm unable to. In this, I'm going to lay it all out, and I'm going to lay it all right here to the public.
Okay.
Currently, our government's becoming a tyrant. It's becoming in charge of and taking advantage of technologies and capabilities that exist to hinder and stifle others that don't want to conform or comply with behaviors that they disagree with. This is the complaint filed with me against the with the Office of Disciplinary Counsel.
Okay.
And let's just put it all in perspective. August the 4th of 2011, I wrote a letter to the West Virginia State Police asking for an investigation into improprieties of a particular law enforcement officer with the Pocahontas County Sheriff's Department. Mid-September, I get served with this complaint. So there's whistleblowing activity going there, if you ask me. It was originally an informal complaint, which was supposed to be confidential, however managed to not be and ended up in the newspaper, which is inappropriate. And secondly, those allegations are not what ended up in the statement of charges. The statement of charges have now narrowed themselves down to quote-unquote orders, which I have caught up on and actually have since been ordered to prepare and provide orders that go back to cases as late as far back as 1998 and come forward. Well, needless to say, coming up with documents and notes and information is extremely difficult. I've had to reconstruct almost every one of those files. The few notes I've been able to obtain have been provided to me by the circuit clerk because they take notes during court. Because the circuit clerk's file is the only one I'm able to reconstruct. I was not left with files. I was not left with access to files. I can walk down the hall right now and bring you photographs of that office the day I walked in. Bags and bags and bags. Shredded documents. Piles and piles of shredded papers in the floor that I had to sweep up. Took me 2 IT specialists to figure out what happened. The pathway to my network was disconnected or severed. You would understand that. It took me a little while to understand that. That's not accidental keystrokes. That was done on purpose. Started in behind the 8 ball. Come into an office that was in total disarray. No case tracking organization. And to a department that was increased in size, a good 75% at that point. But yet my office and my staff has remained the same.
Sheriff's Department, you mean, increased?
There's more law enforcement on the ground in this county right now than has ever been in its history. My office has stayed the same. So therefore, yes, I was at a disadvantage. But
Just to be precise, when you say stay the same, you did add an assistant.
I added a full-time, it was a part-time assistant. No, I've had that office has always had 2 support staff and 2 attorneys.
Okay.
The only difference I made is I did get the assistant full-time.
That's what it was.
That's the addition. I've had no additional staff personnel numbers-wise.
Okay.
But I find the dates ironic to asking for an investigation, getting served with statement of charges.
Roughly a month.
Yeah, not even a month. But it wasn't even a month. It's obvious to see this retaliation, but I'm doing nothing but fighting. You're going to do what you're going to do, and I know that. The point of today was I want my position out here in front of the public so that they understand what I'm up against and what I've been up against is if the organizations that are supposed to be in this together, supposed to be in this for the better of Oklahoma County, work just hard at working together as they do to cause problems and be problematic, it's amazing the ground we could cover and the change we could make. I show up every day, I work hard, I do the best I can with what I've got. If I'm not given adequate material, I can't do anything with it. I'm not given adequate evidence, I can't prosecute. But that aside, it's when you take these benefits and you take these capacities and these technological advances and you use it against not only the others in positions to help, but against the public in general, how do we fight back? You know, I'm in a capacity that I can come to you and I can talk to you and I can say this. How's Jane Q Public fight back when all this is turned on them? And we're in a community of a police state where you're afraid to move, you're afraid to breathe, you're afraid to do anything. So the purpose of fighting this so hard is, yes, it's me. I've done nothing. I'm afraid of nothing. I've done nothing wrong. I've not conformed to what they want me to conform to. I sleep with myself at night. I do what I believe is right. And I do what I believe is the best in this county. And that's why I came here and that's why I ran. And that's what I'll continue to do. But in doing so, I face this. And I face these type of things. This was the biggest attack on me by far that they have made. There has been a continual barrage since early 2009 to push me to quit. I've got a little more fortitude than that, and I've not gone anywhere. And I don't intend to go anywhere, irregardless of what they think or what they try to do to me. But I do not want it lost on anyone. Coincidences like that don't exist in the world. I submitted that letter. I get served with a statement of charges. That did not cause me to back off. I did it. It went there. They're doing their thing, and I'm good with that. I got out of it as I was recommended to do. Provide assistance as they asked me to provide. If you're not afraid of anything, well, I run scared. You know, if I've done nothing, I would welcome it. And I've welcomed this, and I've fought this, and I've got box after box after box of evidence. But it's not free to defend.
Right.
And I don't have the capacity. If I was out there in an office across the street, I'd have liability insurance. This would be taken care of. You're my liability insurance. You are my insurer. I don't have a choice. You want to know where an end was and when the end was in sight? End's in sight. I've had to go and I've had to obtain different and new counsel because
From the last time we talked about this?
they've stymied and drug and not paid. I don't fault those two individuals. They're in business. They need to get paid and moved on. I have other gentlemen that's willing to help me. We'll deal with that when we cross that bridge. But right now, Ranson and Ranson, they're in business together. I mean, I can't blame them for what they did. And it wasn't with any hard feelings.
They
It's
were
just,
representing you at the time we talked here.
yes, and that's the bill that I have. It's the only one I'm worried about getting paid right now because those gentlemen deserve it.
What's the amount for that?
They've worked very hard for me, and they've worked very diligently for me, and that's nowhere near the work that they've put in on my case.
$19,452.
And that's for over a 16-month, almost a 16-month period.
Give me the figure, David.
$19,452.51.
So the $1 million question
For
is,
how many month period?
that's about a 16-month period.
What's
They-
Ranson and Ranson?
Ranson
Yes.
and Ranson. They did not bill what they could have. They did not bill at rates that they could have. They have worked with me throughout this entire process. And now I'm
So
questioning.
you're saying that that amount is a good deal for?
That, yes,
Okay.
that is excessively good deal. They took it because of, it was of great interest to them, and they had never seen anything the likes of which. The reason it had gone this far is we had engaged in conversations of a resolution. ODC would not tell me what they wanted me to admit to,
Office of Disciplinary Counsel.
and Mike Ranson isn't in a position to tell me to admit to anything. This man's been practicing longer than, I was a baby back then. And he refuses because he does not see alleged wrongdoing.
And you have different representation now, and you're not asking us today for recovery costs of.
Not that right now, no. No, I believe that these gentlemen deserve what's owed. The same as whoever we're gonna pay to look into contract disputes and use of improper individuals and the whole contract ordeal, auxiliary ordeal and all that, that's gonna be at the county's dime because no insurance is gonna pay for that. That's all in official capacity, there's no difference.
Where did the charges against you stand now? What were the charges?
We stand now
Have you
as,
been found guilty of anything?
no sir, I have not. We've passed discovery. I have their exhibit notebooks. I'm working on mine. I have till